Here's another Trump win that you probably haven't heard about. Some big immigration numbers to share with you tonight, and the growing prospect of ending chain migration once and for all, thank goodness. First, look at these numbers. The most complete statistical snapshot of immigration enforcement under President Trump. Border Patrol arrests have plunged to a 45-year low, down 24% from just a year ago. And meanwhile, arrests of illegals inside the country jumped by 40% since Trump took office, and it gets better. Now, for the first time, there is a serious effort underway in the Senate to end chain migration. This comes directly on the heels of my interview last week with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Remember, I was the first one to get him to say that chain migration needs to come to an end. The president has said he's open to a DACA deal. Tom Cotton, Senator Perdue have this idea of the RAISE Act, which would have a whole bunch of things in it, including ending chain migration.
Yeah, I agree with Cotton and Perdue. I'm in favor of doing something on the DACA front, but I don't think we ought to just do that. A chain migration, doing something about the diversity lottery. There are plenty of changes to the legal immigration system that should be added to any kind of a DACA fix that we do.
Joining us now to discuss immigration legislation and a lot more, former Energy Secretary, Ambassador to the UN, Democrat Governor of New Mexico. He's a long resume. Bill Richardson, Governor Richardson, it's great to see you after all this time. Let's talk about chain migration. I know when you were in Congress, I believe, you were in favor of chain migration, and you voted for, I think it was the Chrysler-Berman Amendment, was in favor of the chain migration system. Are you still in favor of chain migration, given how it was exponentially expanded immigration in the United States?
Well, you know, what I'm a little troubled, Laura, is that I do believe that family-based migration through existing immigration laws is good. I think there are some areas like this lottery system that needs to be reformed. I mean, I'd get rid of that. I think this situation with the young woman that was killed, I was troubled by the verdict in that case.
Kate Steinle.
But I think what we need to, I think what we need to focus on is this. Let's find a way. For instance, you know what the H-1B visas are. These are highly skilled individuals that are working in the United States that want to stay here, that were educated here.
Right, but we're not talking about that. We're not talking about H-1B right now. We're talking about chain migration.
But we have a quota
we could do an
system.
hour on chain that.
Well,
but this is something different. I want everyone who's watching, you got to pay attention to what we're talking about. Every legal immigrant who comes into the United States, for instance, this is just one country, from Mexico, brings on average, this is a government statistic, 6 family members. Every 2 legal immigrants, they come in, have green cards, so forth, citizens, bring in 7. Every 2, 7, Mexican 6. This has exploded the number of immigrants into the United States, which is not a merit-based system. I mean, the idea that you can bring in adult children because you came in on a H-1B is preposterous. That's not what the original idea of immigration to the United States. It was for work. It was for merit. And, you know, we don't have a burgeoning manufacturing base back yet, at least, Governor Richardson. We don't, you know, the idea that we're desperate for family-based immigration just isn't washed with anybody. It's not even a political issue, I don't think.
Well, Laura, then I don't agree with you, because I think family-based immigration.
What does that mean?
You unify the family.
Why is it? Why is it?
Basically means
Governor, why is it the responsibility?
I'm sorry, I'm talking family. You sponsor
the whole
somebody
family
in your family. It promotes family reunification.
Well, what about the American
it promotes
family?
Legacy. It integrates communities.
Whoa.
What do you mean the American family? We're all a nation of immigrants.
That's a cliche.
We're all a nation of immigrants.
Cliches don't work very well on this show.
What is merit-based? You just want engineers?
Why is
you
it
just want teachers?
Why
you
is
want
it?
family
Why
members.
is it the American worker? Why should the American worker of Latino descent, of European descent, wherever you came from, why is it their responsibility to import entire families? Frankly, in a lot of these cases, it's extended families into the United States at a time where we've had wages flatlining in the African-American community and the Latino community. Why is that an obligation of the American citizen?
Well, does merit-based immigration mean?
Doesn't mean being an adult kid of an immigrant.
Wouldn't you rather have family members come? Irish Americans, Italian Americans. It's not just Latinos. You're just making it minorities. It's everybody. And the unit of nucleus and reunification is the family.
Nuclear. Nuclear. Husband, wife, and children under 18, not adult children, aunts, uncles, grandparents. That's what we're talking about. Obama was in India. Actually, he was in France, in India over the last week or so. I want to play a soundbite for you, very short, of something he said. He was talking about climate change. Let's watch.
Did not solve climate change, but it provided us with a framework in which, for the first time, almost every nation in the world agreed that this was a problem. Now, I grant you that at the moment we have a temporary absence of American leadership on the issue.
Governor, whether you're Republican or Democrat, a former president of the United States going overseas and talking about the absence of American leadership, you support that?
Listen, Laura, President Trump criticizes President Obama every day. It's been a tradition of American presidents to stay silent. Obama has been silent. He was talking overseas. I go overseas all the time. You know what they ask me, Laura? They say, why is President Trump leaving
growing
the
American
Agreement?
economy?
Why is he negative on the Trans-Pacific Partnership?
Because it kills American jobs.
Why does he want to pull out of NATO? Why does he want to find ways that internationally, those are the questions that come forth, Laura. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, 12 countries. He pulls out. China is now leading. NATO in the same way. Scorns the Europeans, the Germans. Makes no sense.
So you
get questions like that. I think Obama has been very restrained in his criticism. He's been
actually
criticized
think,
by Democrats and
Governor,
others.
You actually think that American leadership on the world stage was at its apex during Obama for the last 9 years? We had Benghazi, we had the Middle East in flames, we got rid of Mubarak, we got rid of Gaddafi, we had the rise of the Muslim Brotherhood, the rise of ISIS, everything that happened. That was all copacetic with you? Trump is the problem?
President Obama was a good foreign policy president. He won a Nobel Prize.
Oh, and his first 5 seconds in office,
he started phasing
he should give
out
it back.
of Iraq and Afghanistan. We were respected
We're still
overseas.
there.
He opened the relationship with Cuba. I think he was a very good foreign policy president. And President Trump is an isolationist. He's a nationalist.
Oh, my gosh.
Internationally, I travel all the time.
Bill,
we are getting
the European elites
criticized by everybody.
Governor, the people watching Fox right now, the fact that a bunch of European elites at conferences you attend and speak to, I mean, I'm sure they're fun. I'm sure the food's good. But the fact that European elites and other elite foreign policy gurus around the world are criticizing the president, they used to do it to Ronald Reagan, for whom I used to work. They did it to him relentlessly. He was Ronnie Reagan. He was going to blow up the world. Turned out to be one of the greatest presidents of all time. I'm not saying Trump is Reagan, but the elites did it to Reagan morning, noon, and night. But I love having you on the show, and it's great to see you again, as always.